It's evident that he cares. What do you care about? Welcome to the Rock Newman Show. It's the Rock Newman Show.
The Minister of Wellness Ministries and Rock Newman Show 2.0 return to the nation's capital Saturday, September 16th, 2023, Union Temple Baptist Church. This is your final opportunity to join us in person before the official start of the viral outbreak season. To get empowered to quickly lose weight, reverse disease so you can be 100% confident your immune system is ready for anything that may come. Come hungry, because delicious plant-based soul food and desserts will be available by DC's own Dr. Ruby Lathan. Space is extremely limited, so RSVP as soon as possible at theministerofwellness.com under Health Seminars. That's theministerofwellness.com under Health Seminars. Please call or text 888-847-8026. That's 888-847-8026.
Good evening, beloved. Thank you so much for tuning in once again to the Rock Newman Show 2.0. As I sit here, it is always an honor to know that there is an audience out there that thinks enough about what we do to join us, to tune in and to comment. I invite each and every one of you to call your friends, call your family. We are doing programming from this table that is incredibly important to our community. When I first started this 10 years ago, I was unapologetic for having an agenda that would be highlighting the best of the Black experience. And today we are doing just that. We have a group. Oh, let me be very transparent with you. I had a guest scheduled that missed a flight from the West Coast, and they called me at the last minute to say that they could not come here to make the taping. I was at my hotel having breakfast, and someone asked the question, "Hey, do you have a TV show?" And I said yes. They had their breakfast, I was having mine, and as I was leaving, I forget how we started talking again, but when the lady that I was having that conversation with told me that she was affiliated, and an integral part of the Thurgood Marshall College Fund Teacher Quality and Retention Program, my antenna just didn't pop up, it went through the roof. You all have probably heard me say from this seat that it is my sincere belief that that behind a mother, number one, dad, number two, in terms of our social responsibilities, that the next is teachers. I have advocated through this platform, on Facebook, when I had time to collect my thoughts and write, I talked about why I think, this was 6, 7, 8 years ago, why I think that teacher salaries here in the U.S. should start qualified, I always have to say that, qualified teachers should start at a minimum of $100,000. And I went on to give reasoning that if a teacher helped educate a young mind to help them to become productive citizens, whether it is getting a job, owning a business, whatever it might be, that person was more likely to inspire others to do that as a result of the great benefit from teachers. And if they inspired others in their family and in their community, they would make their community a safer, a more prosperous community. And you just multiply that and multiply that and multiply it. And hopefully you get an understanding of why I say being a teacher, and I know it happened in my life, that was being a teacher can have such incredible influence on a multitude of individuals. If it's 30 in a room, if it's 10 in a room, whatever it is, having a great teacher helps to make a greater society. And so if it sounds like I'm biased towards teachers, you better believe I am. I know that great teachers help us uplift ourselves and uplift society. So it is my honor and my pleasure on the spur of the moment to have our guest today, Mosika Medlock. Am I saying that right?
You said it perfectly.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining today. Y'all can clap. And this is the Rock Newman Show 2.0. And so we do things our way. So absolutely, thank you so much for taking the time to be able to come in. So my audience may not know at all anything about the Thurgood Marshall College Fund Teacher Quality and Retention. Rather than me to give my sentiments and thoughts about that, I would like you to share with me and our audience what that is. What's the purpose of this organization? What's your role with it?
So first of all, thank you for having me. I know it wasn't planned, but I believe it is purposed.
Divinely inspired.
Divinely
I ain't scared to say that.
There you go. Amen. So the Thurgood Marshall College Fund is a nonprofit organization. It's been around for over 40 years. It's headquartered here in DC, and our purpose is to support publicly supported HBCUs with leadership development, scholarships, internships, all types of things like that. We're preparing the next generation of workforce talent. So now the K through 12 arm of TMCF, the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, is Teacher Quality and Retention Program. I'm the programs director for that program. So this is a 5-year fellowship for new and aspiring Black educators from HBCUs. We accept them as early as their junior year in undergrad, and we support them all the way through their 3rd year in the classroom. And if they're Black male, because Black males are less than 2% of the public school workforce, we support them through their 5th year in the classroom. And when I say support, we have a 2-week summer institute that pops up every program year, which we're having now in DC. And then we support them all year round holistically, financially, social, emotionally, with pedagogy, with networking, all types of things.
How did you find yourself involved in this program? What was it that brought you there? How did you get here?
It's funny we started off talking about divine purpose because I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. I started off as a consultant part-time. I had to quit my full-time job in a Title I school because I was sick. There was a lot of stress. I was understaffed. I was a college access coordinator in Houston. I quit that job. I knew I still needed to work, but I needed to do it part-time from home. So I found this position as a part-time consultant, as a Common Core success coach, and that was 10 years ago. So from there, I continued on. I became full-time, and I've been with this program ever since. This is the longest I've ever been with one company because I love what I do. It's never a dull moment. It's different from year to year with different cohorts, and I believe in what I'm doing.
So, I told you how much I am just absolutely inspired and impressed by good teaching. Somewhere along the way, I'm sure it wasn't the teacher's fault, it was probably mine. Mm-hmm. I didn't become as proficient in math as I should have. Mm-hmm. So if I'm doing some calculation in this undeveloped math mind, mm-hmm. that would mean that if you were in a position for 10 years or something like that, it would be somewhere after college, mm-hmm. right?
Yes.
Okay. One of the reasons that this almost didn't happen, mm-hmm. I just want to say to you and to your folks out there, is thought I needed to be very, very careful and approaching you where you and your friend were sitting, mm-hmm. because I thought you were underage.
Oh my gosh.
I really did. I thought you were like somebody's daughter that had come to the gold room.
Wow.
And so you see, I just said yes, but I didn't really say anything else.
Oh my goodness.
Because I was being, honest to God, I was being careful.
Okay.
So in addition to this fantastic teacher quality and retention program, you're a live living example that black don't crack.
Period. You made my day.
And I'm sincere. I really thought that. So, but now that we have it cleared up, you talked about how you service folks that are attending HBCUs.
That's right.
How might someone out there who is watching, whether it's an HBCU student who would be interested mm-hmm. in the teaching profession, mm-hmm. or their parent, their uncle, or grandma, whoever it is, how would they, by watching this program, reach out to you guys, reach out to your organization?
info-tqrp@tmcf.org.
Say it again.
info-tqrp@tmcf.org.
Okay. Now, when they connect to that site, mm-hmm. what kind of response or response or reply can they expect from the organization?
Well, that's specifically our email address. If you're
mm-hmm.
interested in TQRP, we'll respond and let you know what we have going on when our application will open again for the 24-25 cohort, because we just started our 23-24 cohort mm-hmm. This week. And we'll answer your questions. We can set up a call. We can set up an information session. Depending on where you're located, we might be able to have a one-on-one, face-to-face.
So, beloved, it is no secret at all that there is such a minuscule part of the education process that comes from black males. Point blank. And the need for that is great. So I'm going to say to you and invite you again that if you're watching this program and you have someone who may fit the bill, who may be interested in the teaching profession, reach out to them, have them to tune us in here or share the video later. Education is the springboard and the platform to us rising. We want to be uplifted. If you don't mind, so you're in Houston, mm-hmm. but the fund, the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, Teacher Quality and Retention Program, is based in D.C.
The Thurgood Marshall College Fund is, mm-hmm. their headquarters are in D.C.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But you live in Houston.
I live in Houston. I work remotely from Houston.
Okay.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And our fellows are from all over. We have over 26 different HBCUs right now at a hotel in downtown D.C.
Yeah.
Represented. We have over 80 fellows, so they're new and they're also aspiring teachers. So we have anywhere from juniors in undergrad through third year or fourth or fifth year teachers that are all working together to elevate their profession, hone their craft. They're the next generation of future teacher leaders in education.
And because this is my program and I have the autonomy to do this, I'm going to say the name of the hotel.
Okay.
As long as you don't have a problem.
I don't have a problem.
It's the Fairmont Hotel, 24th and 24th and M Street, Northwest Washington, D.C. I mean, I want to shout that out because that hotel is hosting this. Now, how long is the convention or the program at the hotel?
It's from July 10th through July 20th. We depart on the 20th. And I would like to share that the Secretary of Education, Dr. Miguel Cardona, he will be there with us doing a fireside chat with the President and CEO of the Thurgood Marshall College Fund on July 19th.
This is really exciting. What are you doing? Tell us about some of the programmatic things that are taking place at the hotel.
So specifically, I want to emphasize that TQRP is a year-long program that provides support and development all year long for Black teachers. But specifically, what's happening in our 2-week summer institute, we have sessions on culturally responsive teaching, social emotional learning, classroom management, student engagement, integrating technology across the content areas. We also have a practicum experience where our pre-service fellows, that means those who have never been the teacher of record, so have never officially been a teacher, they are preparing a STEM lesson and they're going to teach that lesson at John Hayden Johnson Middle School in DCPS on Monday. So we're busing all of our fellows there. They're preparing this whole first week. They've been preparing a lesson, incorporating everything that they've learned, and they're going to teach that that lesson on Monday. Not only that, with our partnership, because we have over 10 different funders, and one in particular, Booz Allen Hamilton, they did a back-to-school drive. So they're going to come on Monday and bring those school supplies to those students who are coming there to receive that STEM lesson. So we're very excited about that. The chancellor for DCPS, he'll be there. He was there today, actually, at our program, but he'll be there again next week. We have a lot of buy-in. We had the Black Male National Teacher of the Year, Kurt Russell. He was at the opening. He was our keynote speaker there. We also had the DC Teacher of the Year, who's also a Black male, Jamar Roundtree. He spoke as well at the opening. So we have a lot going on. We're doing big things. We're happy to be here. And we'd love for you to come too.
Well, I just might be able to do that. I'm going to be at the hotel a few more days.
Okay.
So I just may be able to participate with your group. And when I say, folks, when I say with the group, I don't know how many attendees you have in total at the hotel. How many folks?
So it's 80 that are in the cohort, but we have about 100 Black teachers altogether, including presenters and alumni.
And 10 of them came along here today.
Yes.
And one of the things that we discussed just moments before the interview started was having a gentleman to come up to talk about teaching and the impact of this kind of organization on his life. So we're going to switch out and then we'll come back to you once we get the gentleman in your seat.
Sounds great.
All right. So what we have, folks, is Dr. William Blake, who is a native Washingtonian who has had a very interesting journey. First thing I'd like to do, because we've got a lot of viewers in the Washington, D.C. area. So do me a favor.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about your journey.
Okay.
Where'd you go to elementary school?
Yes, I went to elementary school at Randall Highlands Elementary School.
Randall Highlands.
Right around the corner from this station on R Street, Southeast.
I was going to say Southeast.
Absolutely.
South.
Absolutely.
Yes. And middle school.
So I went to middle school at Roper, junior high school. Roper is now
y'all recognize those names, Roper?
Yeah, Roper doesn't exist anymore, but it's now Ron Brown Collegiate School for Boys.
Yeah. So high school.
And I went to high school at Fordsville High School in Prince George's County.
Okay, so you out in the county, in PG County. All right. Now, when you were either in, whether it was elementary school, whether it was middle school or high school, was there a particular teacher that stood out or impacted you that might have inspired you to want to go into the teaching profession? Or did it come from some other place?
Yeah, so it's going to be cliche right here, right? My
Cliche
story
is okay. It's all right, as long as it's real.
Yeah, my story is unique because I knew I was going to be a teacher since birth, right?
Since birth?
Since birth. The first role model I had in my life was my dad. I'm 38 years old today, and my dad is going...
Today? As in
no,
today?
no, I'm just 38 years old.
Oh, we about to sing happy birthday to you.
And my dad is going into his 38th year of being a classroom teacher. And my dad is actually taught at Ketchum Elementary School, which is right there, 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
So just watching my dad having an impact as an educator, I used to watch him bring students to our house. Providing shelter, providing food, and just providing those basic needs that they need to be successful. And it was just watching him and growing up with him, knowing that I want to be just like him when I grow up. And for the last 16 years, I had the opportunity to serve as a black male educator.
Okay, so wait a minute. So you lived where?
So I lived here in Washington, D.C.
I'm saying, but right near this location?
Absolutely, yes.
Where?
I grew up in Anacostia. All off of Good Hope Road.
So for those of you who are not aware, who are from other places in the country or around the world, we're on Martin Luther King Avenue. I specifically wanted to come here at WEAC Radio to do this show. Being on Martin Luther King Avenue felt good. I wanted to do that. Now, I wanted to do that. The area is now being more developed. But you're 38 years old, and your dad was bringing kids home to help them, to help guide them, to mold them, to teach them, to give them some security, food, and shelter in an area that would be considered impoverished. So this is not some kind of gilded pie in the sky, someone that's sitting out. This is over in the hood. This is what a gentleman did, your dad, in the hood, inspiring those, the least of thee, if you will. Man. And from that, you knew that you wanted to emulate your dad and have that kind of impact.
Yeah, it's all about impact, right? Like, how are you going to occupy the space that you're in, and how are you going to serve others? And like, that's what I grew up off of, and I just knew, just watching him, I was going to have the impact and occupy the space of education.
Wow. Okay, so you finished at Forestville High School, and then...
So I finished at Forestville High School, then I went on to attend the Morgan State University, that's located in Baltimore, Maryland, where I majored in elementary education as well as family and consumer sciences. When I left Morgan State University, I went in to teach at Gwen Park High School, where I was a family and consumer science teacher.
My alma mater.
Your alma mater.
That's my
Your
alma
yellow
mater.
jacket.
That yellow
when
jacket.
I say GDP,
if you go down there right now,
jacket.
you see this baseball field. Guess what it says?
What it say?
The Rock Newman baseball
Oh
field.
man,
Come
I
on.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I taught at Gwen Park for 3 years. Then I left Gwen Park to go on to Dr. Henry A. Wise Junior High School in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, where I served as an assistant principal. And during my time there at Dr. Henry A. Wise Junior High School, we actually won the National Best High School of the Year award due to the impact that we had there.
My God, congratulations.
So then I left Dr. Henry A. Wise Junior High School, and I went on to become a principal at Stephen Decatur Middle School in Prince George's County. Had a great tenure there. Then I came to Washington, D.C., District of Columbia Public Schools to serve as the Director of Social Emotional Learning, where
social and emotional learning.
And I had the opportunity to support 116 school leaders to think through how can you create these safe and brave spaces for students to thrive using a whole child support strategy. And then now I'm currently the Director of High School Redesign, where we are transforming all of the high schools here in Washington, D.C. to bring in innovative programs that meet the needs of our students. So that is my journey over these past 16 years in the field of education.
Man, Now I know more than I did before, that it was divine intervention this morning when I met Sister Mosika Madlock. Because truly, my mission in doing this show and launching it, you know, again, as I said, it was unapologetic to showcase the best of the Black experience, you know, and I just was not aware even of this organization and what you are doing, or what the organization is doing, and you certainly exemplify the best of what comes out of that. And I really, really appreciate you coming and sharing that, Dr. Blake. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So again, I want to thank Dr. Blake. I want to thank Mosika Medlock. And now I'm going to allow you, Alyssa Carter, who is a Teacher of the Year from Valdosta, Georgia. What's the name of the school?
W.G. Nunn Elementary School.
And what's your area of expertise? What do you teach?
I teach first grade. So everything primary, that's me.
Everything primary?
Yes.
Okay, let me do this. When we're talking about teachers, let me show off a little bit if I can. Miss Griffith was my first grade teacher. Miss Spears was my second grade teacher. Miss Brooks was my third grade teacher. Miss Albert was my fourth grade teacher. Miss Proctor was my fifth grade teacher. And Miss Mitchell was my sixth grade teacher. I was 12 years old. Oh, I had a crush on her. I wanted to do everything. I wanted to do everything right. So tell me this. When you meet those students in the first grade, on the first day, what's the most important thing that's on your mind of what you got to do that first day?
The first day of school in first grade is very impactful. It is busy. The main things I'm doing are making sure that they know that I'm taking care of them. They know how they're getting home from school. They know places in school where to go. And as well as building relationships with them. And we're learning each other's names.
Familiarizing them with the school and making sure that they feel safe.
Yes.
So I want to ask you, it is, you know, you are here, you got an award as the Teacher of the Year because of your excellence. My question is, what is your motivation, one, for doing what you do? Because oftentimes, across the board, people say today, teaching is a thankless job. Where do you get your validation? What makes you feel best about what you do?
What makes me feel best about what I do is I'm giving students what I didn't get. So I didn't have a lot of Black teachers. I didn't have people that were singing and dancing in the room. So just being that person that I needed, and that just impacts them even more in it. It just ignites the inner child within.
What do you feel has been your best example, student-wise, of a child coming in that maybe was challenged in some kind of way, and your care and expertise made a difference? Does any particular child stand out in your mind?
Yes, it does. It was a child from this past year. So this student, he struggled academically. He was diagnosed with ADHD, ADD, and he has heavy medication to help manage that. So whenever he came to me, in the morning, he'll be yelling, "Leave me alone!" to everybody in the building because he wasn't a morning person. So whenever I interacted with him, I helped teach him strategies to where in the morning you say good morning to somebody. Now you don't have to be mad, or just say good morning to them or give them a smile. Then also the self-advocacy piece. So he would come in hungry. He didn't eat breakfast. So I have things in my room that I'll provide him with, letting me know that he was hungry. So he would tell me, Miss Carter, I need something to eat, because he'll just put his head down. I'm like, baby, what's wrong? I didn't eat breakfast. Baby, we got food in here, okay? If you need food, just say, hey, Miss Carter, do you have any food? So that's something else that I taught him, but also interacting with peers. Just because of the illness that he has, some people, they may push him to the wayside, but I continually loved on him, planted seeds into him. So by the time he's now leaving my room, I wish I could keep him again, because I loved him so much. But just making him smile, and then knowing that he has more skills in his toolbox than he came with, and even people saying in the building, that's a different child that you have. Because whenever he was in kindergarten, he was not like that.
I got my hands like that because masses cheer when someone runs down a football field and crosses the goal line. Oh, masses cheer. I'm gonna tell you something. They get paid gazillions of dollars to run that football down the field and score that touchdown. And I'm here to say that a great teacher is able to provide for our society something so much more important than that touchdown. And this sister right here, Elisa, just described part of the value that comes from the resource of a caring, qualified teacher's mind and soul. And I make no apologies for suggesting to you to consider teaching, to consider if you have someone in your family that you think might have the aptitude and the skills to be a good teacher. Think about it. That single person, you as a single parent, helps rear a child. That teacher helps to do what you do multiplied over and over, and there is incredible value to that. Yes. You are an example of that value, man. You almost made me cry, because I know from that child walking in that room being belligerent, scared, hungry, perhaps feeling not cared for, he walked out, and what you put into him allowed him to feel different about the world, and more importantly, about himself. Mm-hmm. That's what teachers do. Thank you, Alyssa.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming to the Rock Newman Show 2.0. Okay. And so as we continue with our teacher appreciation program, our Love Your Teacher, our Get Us More and Better Teachers, Kendrick Claxton from St. Louis, Missouri is here. Thanks for coming to the Rock Newman Show 2.0.
Thank you for
having us. What made you want to be a teacher?
Oh.
Hold on, before you answer.
Man.
Teacher of the Year. Kendrick Claxton. Yes, sir.
Oh, man, where could I start? I believe I can piggyback back off of what Alyssa said. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, and anybody that know about St. Louis, Missouri, man, the inner city too as well. I went to Sumner High School, and that's when I basically came in contact with my first black male teacher. And with coming in contact with him, I was baffled, because I had this mindset, man, that I wanted to be like a drug dealer, different things like that. I thought I was going to go in that direction because that's what I was surrounded around. Until I met Mr. Young, and Mr. Young was so impactful. I saw him dressing up every day. I saw him coming into work, staying after, taking students home. And I said, wow, what? It's another way. It's like another way in life that I can succeed. And I would say he had the best impact and most impact on my life in becoming a teacher. That's why it's in my mission as a teacher to dress up every day, make sure I'm being that beacon of light to my black and brown boys so they can understand, hey, it's another way besides drug dealing, rapping, and any other thing that's part of a negative aspect.
And what grade do you teach?
I teach 9th grade world history at Southeast High School in Kansas City, Missouri.
9th grade?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Lord.
Oh.
Yes, Lord.
Ooh. Ninth grade. So I, like others, probably think, oh my God, you got a tough job on your hand.
Yes, sir. But what I learned from TQRP about passion is that passion is something that you are willing to struggle for, and this is something I have passion for. So I'm willing to struggle with those 9th graders, 10th graders, any grade, to be honest.
Give me an example of your toughest challenge.
Oh man,
With the class, with the student.
I would say my toughest challenge is that, oh man, where could I start at? My toughest challenge is that I care extremely a lot about my students. And with that, I used to beat up myself a lot going home, like, dang, how could I help this student? Dang, how could I do this for this student? Until I actually ran into Dr. Blake here at TQRP, and he told me about the analogy of an apple tree. Once you plant that first seed, you do not produce fruit in that first seed, with that first year. You don't even see the branches probably. So with that, it takes time. That's what he was basically letting me know. It takes time until you can see that fruit and start to eat from that tree. So I would say that's my hardest thing, is just making sure that I'm there for my students in every aspect.
That's your biggest challenge. What's been your biggest reward?
Oh man, it's rewarding every day. I would say every day that I come into work and be able to touch a life, I would say it's rewarding every single day. Yep.
Folks, I love doing what I'm doing, and Kendrick Claxton is one of the reasons that I love doing what I'm doing. Because here's someone that perhaps you've never seen his name up in lights, but he's making a difference where it counts, trying to save our children, and trying to have our children to understand that there's a better way. The Rock Newman Show 2.0 and Rock Newman himself thanks you for what you do.
I want to thank you too as well for having us on here and be able to spread our message and give it impact, because we probably encouraging somebody right now to become a teacher. So I really do appreciate that.
Give me a high five on that one. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Masika, let's come back and wrap it up. So, folks, I hope you appreciate what just happened. You just heard from and saw people that, in my humble estimation, should be the heroes that you know about, because they truly make a difference in people's lives. And before we wrap this show up, I wanted to give an opportunity for Masika Medlock, who I saw this morning, thinking that it was an underage sister. Was able to be nimble, to adjust what they were doing, and to come over and do the Rock Newman Show 2.0. Masika, I would like to give you the last word, but I think as I ask them about the most rewarding aspect that each of the teachers have had in their daily routines or in the lives of students, I would like for you to share what has been most rewarding about your position.
I'm happy to do that. The most rewarding thing about my position is being able to watch them shine, watch them glow, watch them prosper, watch them be rewarded and just elevated, and be on your show and talk about what they're accomplishing. It lights me up. It's awesome.
You have a light, sister. You have a wonderful light, and what you do lights up our community, and that's just invaluable. And I want to say, from myself personally and from the show, from my partner Avis, who helped put all of this together, we truly are humbled by your being here, and we thank you for coming and for bringing this incredible contingent. Thank you so much. Folks, that wraps us for this show. As usual, I say to you, like us, subscribe, and tell your friends. And until the next time, we'll see you then. Oh, man. This is...